Hi, I'm Sugar from Sugar and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of a dark and moody Instagram grid. Let's go. So we're going to talk about dark Instagram themes. For me, a dark and moody Instagram theme is just something that I really enjoy curating. I love white on black quote cards. I love dark, moody flat lays where half the image is sort of shadowed out into just a black space. I love food photography where the food's sort of sitting there and you've got this beautiful band of light and it's all lit up, but then it's all dark, moody shadows on the other side. I just love that. I think it's awesome. And that's why I love a dark Instagram grid. So if you're considering one for yourself, then here are some pros and cons I've found along the way. So amongst an entire world of Instagram grids that are light and bright and pastel and airy, and not that there's anything wrong with that, I just like how the dark theme stands out amongst those. That leads us to our first con, which is if you're working with brands, often they'll want your images to fit in with their grid. So if your grid is dark and moody and, let's say blue, like mine, and their grid is light and bright and pink, it's going to be very hard to make your organic content fit into their grid. So you may have to create a secondary image that's a little lighter and brighter for the brand, or consider whether or not that's going to be a great fit, which not only limits your opportunities to work with brands, but limits your opportunities to get reposted by brands. Definite con. The next pro is that a dark grid can look really great with food photography. This is actually how mine got started. I was shooting some recipes for the blog and I shot them on a dark background and I was like transformed. So from there I basically decided that I would try to use one dark and one light, and that went along for a little while, but it wasn't until I fully committed to the dark theme that, it started looking really cool. Next up on the cons list is that dark can actually be quite difficult to achieve. These are well-lit, sharp images that just have dark, sort of moody colorways and feels and vibes going on with them. So I don't want you to take the images that you're already using and just desaturate them or darken them up a little. This could work for some of them, but it won't for all of them. You really need to specifically set out to shoot darker colors, to shoot on darker backgrounds, and start to integrate it that way. So make sure you're not underexposing your images for the sake of getting a dark image. Dark and moody photography isn't about just having no light in there. It's about how you use the light that you have brought in to make it really look cool. So think about that when you're taking photos. It's something I'm still learning, and I think playing with light is something that people who like taking photos will always be learning. But yeah, it's about knowing where your light's coming from, how much of it you want there, blocking some of it with boards and cards or whatever if you're flat laying or taking food photos. The next pro is that a dark theme is quite modern. So we've been through all that time where there was a lot of negative space and a lot of white and a lot of desaturated, really pale colorways and stuff like that. And I actually count a lot of the YouTubers amongst this, but they really brought through a really punchy, not HDR, but it's getting kind of close photo theme that people just expected your images to have a bit more oomph to them. So while the light and bright and airy still works for some people, I'm finding that more and more images that actually have something going on, that have, an atmosphere or a vibe to them are doing much better than just purely light, bright, airy. And that wasn't always the case. Light, bright, airy used to win, hands down. Another con for the dark and moody Instagram theme is if you live somewhere like I do, otherwise known as Queensland, where it's summer 90% of the year. 90? I was going to say 9 months out of the year. And it's hot and it's sunny and it's bright and Sometimes you just want to share a photo at the beach where the sand's looking white and the sky's looking bright blue and there's light flooding everywhere. But if you're committed to a dark and moody theme, this just isn't going to work. So if you live somewhere like I do, then maybe, and you spend a lot of time outside or going on adventures, then maybe reconsider the dark theme, because let me tell you, it's tough to only post stuff that fit in the grid, though more and more I just post it to the story. But people don't really recognise it. They're like, who the fuck posted this? And that's about it for the pros and cons of a dark Instagram grid. Thanks for joining me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've got a dark Instagram grid, make sure you leave your link in the comments. I'd love to check it out. You can find me on Instagram at sugarcoatit.com. So that's SUGERCOATIT. Okay, I'll see you there.